Designing, fabricating, installing, building tomorrow's technology. Join the change with Vengeant Apparatus.
Hi everybody, Mark here at 911 Rapid Response and Vengeant Apparatus, and I have a new truck that we just built for the Alpha Fire Company, which is out of State College. So if you ever get up to the Penn State game here in Pennsylvania, more than likely you're probably going to see not just this truck, but we actually built twins. We actually have two of them. The other one is getting finished up in the shop right now. This is on a 2020 Ford F-350 chassis, extended cab, dual rear wheel, gas motor that's in it. So I'm going to start at the front. We're going to review exactly what we did here. A little cool and brisk out today, so bear with me. So we have a set of Whelen 500 V series here in the front. We did the chrome flanges around them, which is nice. We use a lot of these V series in the front because it gives you not just front warning power, but it also gives you this side warning when you're approaching these intersections. You get some nice intersection power out of them as well. We have our speakers mounted here behind the grill. We have two of them. We're running Whelen carbide on this unit, so our synchronization is all done through the carbide. We're setting all our lights to steady burn, and we're flashing our lights actually through the outputs of the control unit itself, which is how we get all our synchronization clean and as effective as you can see. We have right now we have it in slider 3. I have it in neutral, e-brake set, so you can see what slider 3 looks like. When you bump down our slider positions, it just turns off some white lights and takes some lights out of the equation when you do it. Got a pair of headlight flashers there in the front, another 500 series here on the side as well. Fits in real nice. One thing when we mount these side lights, you really can't get behind them to hold nuts and stuff on. We can throw rib nuts in to hold them on. We don't use self tappers on anything here. We try to use rib nuts, or we'll physically put a nut on the back side, all using a stainless hardware. As we come around the side, we got this little nice touch here with the American flag, USA made, right here out of our shop, Vengeant Apparatus. The decals are all made in-house by our market graphics division, which is nice. The light bar on the top is one of the best bars in the industry. It's the Whelen Liberty light bar. We actually have the preemption in the center there, which is the infrared preemption device. And that's a dual color bar as well. As you can see, it's flashing the red-white right now. Now when we actually open up the door, we have some extra features on this. When we open up the door, we're going to turn that side light on the steady burn. Now it might be flashing a little bit in the camera because of resolution and how it works, but this right now is a full steady burn when I open up this door. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to add lighting underneath here automatically when we open up the door as well, so we have a nice step light. Now when you put the vehicle in the park, we're automatically going to turn on our ground lighting, which is underneath the vehicle. The running boards are nice and big, so you can easily step on them. You're not going to fall. We have grip strut built into them running boards as well, right where you're basically going to step every time you get in the truck. As we move to the back of the truck, let's go up top. We got a command light up top. It's the Shadow series. It's a 2-head light. It does full spin and up and down. And on that, we have the Whelen Pioneer lights that are on that. So very, very effective, very bright, gives them some scene lighting when they're doing traffic control to light up intersections and so forth. As we move to the side of the vehicle, we got M9s on the sides. Now, we put this out to some of our fellow YouTube and Facebook folks of what is different with this apparatus module that we built versus some of our others. And some of you picked it out pretty quickly. We don't have a drip rail built into this. So what we actually did is we used our side rail and we put it up top. Remember, this is our extrusion side rail. This isn't a formed body where we're taking two pieces of aluminum and we're running a weld down it and then capping it. This is extremely strong. It looks as one continuous piece. It is some of the strongest part of the entire body. So what that allows us to do, it allows us to put a bigger light up top. It allows us to put bigger decals in the center because we don't have that drip rail. Again, this is a customer preference, but we're able to adapt to what the customer needs, and that's what we do here. So we have the M9 series on the sides, along with the surface mount Pioneers that Whelen makes, which is nice because you don't got to cut these big recessed holes, which would inadvertently go into our substructure, which is a 2x3 1/4-inch wall box tubing. Some of the largest material used in the industry is how we build our bodies. And our bodies are built cage style construction. So you can build our cage by our framework, is what we're saying by that, mount it on this truck with no sheeting on it and drive it down the road, and it will not move at all because of how we build our cage construction. So everything else built on top of that is just added strength. In other words, you'll hear us talk, we call it stupid strong, because that's what it is. It's just insanely strong on how we build our bodies. We have roll-up doors by ROM. They are a painted roll-up door. When you get into the graphics on the roll-up door, our graphics team goes one step above, and we pre-cut these before they go on our door. We're not cutting our graphics on our door. Bad idea. You do that, you start cutting the slits and you start cutting the seals in your doors, and we don't do that. We have a rub rail on the bottom of the door. Now we can do these rub rails in different variations. We can powder coat them different colors. We can let them aluminum. These here are aluminum with a very light DA finish on them. So you don't see the swirl marks, but it changes the appearance of them a little bit. But they're usable rub rails, okay? Our rub rails stick out past our door and past our grab handle. So if you hit something down here, it's into our structure that it's gonna bounce off. So they're usable rub rails. They're not these rub rails that stick back behind your handles. You'll rip the handle off. Why even have one? So they are a usable rub rail. The fenderettes are metal. This is our fuel door here. We have another a 500 series, V series there on the side. Custom made mud flaps in the back. Our roll up doors, we have some pull out slide master trays in here. They're gonna set some cones on here. Comes out a little bit. It's easier to get the cones in and out. That's why we do this. This is unique. Again, 100% custom here at Vengeance Apparatus. This is unique in the fact because when we get to the back, you'll understand why this is laid out like this. This is your back compartment, okay? We have to have it like that for sign storage and such. And instead of making this a divider in here, we make this a transverse standard unistrut on the walls, but this allows them to put longer signage across this way, which is why we do this. The front compartment has a transverse pull-out tray. This is our controller for the shadow light tower. We can control each head individually. We can turn it. It's a nice big controller. So if you have gloves on and that nature, you can grab a hold of this thing and hold it if it's cold out like a day like today. And then it has a nice storage spot here too that you can store it on. All our compartments have LED lighting in the door tracks, which is from ROM. We also include access holes. So we care about the guy that has to service something later. 10, 15 years down the road, something needs serviced. We can access and we can get into these service portholes that we give for that reason. So we have access holes in here as well. Okay, now we're at the back of the vehicle. Coming around the back side here, we have high prismatic chevrons across the whole back of this thing. So it's extremely visible because this thing is going to be on the road a lot. Again, it's fire police. And for you folks that might not be in Pennsylvania or have an area of fire police are basically under the umbrella of the fire department. Generally, they are. Sometimes they fall underneath the police department. They don't have arresting powers. They don't carry guns, handcuffs, nothing like that. But their basically role is to direct traffic on the highways. Somebody that might not want to be a firefighter and go into a burning building, this is a good role for them. Somebody that doesn't want to be an officer, doesn't want to have the responsibility of carrying a handgun or anything like that, again, another good role for them. It's kind of an in-between for us here, so we're not tying up other valuable resources in the state, which is why we have fire police. The back is a roll-up door. The roll-up door is going to have storage compartments for the emergency scene ahead signs and other signs of that nature. They'll slide right into these compartments. This is all made right here in-house. The rear bumper has unistrut on it for the time that you would have to stand up on it. And we have a little bit of extra space here in front of the fuel tank, so we put a swing-in door. Hey, there's always storage for something. You can find something to put in there. Some people will just keep chains in. Some people might put boxes of flares in there for quick deployment, things of that nature. And then in the side here, they have some extra storage that they can put other signs, maybe mini AK barricades, stuff like that could fit in this side. We have our bezel light housing, which is going to have our brake and our tail light in the top, our turn signal, our reverse light, and then we're going to also have the M series warning light here in the back for lower level warning. We have our split red ambers, customer requested, at the top, along with a dual head Pioneer here in the back. So we got good scene lighting out the back when that arrow board's up, and we could be blocking that command light tower. Now that arrow board is made by Trafcon. It does have the pulse in it, which you're going to see. It's going to give that quick white flash, and when you're at a distance, like any large arrow board, it's obviously going to be brighter than us standing right up close here. It's automatic up and down, along with 4-corner flash, arrows out, left, and right. So we have multiple different variations there that we can run that. Right now, looks like I have it set on the 4-corner flash is what it's doing there now. We're gonna now go inside, hit the console a little bit, show you some of those features, and wrap the video up from there. Okay, now we're in the inside of the vehicle, and we're gonna go over our console, some layouts and things of that nature. So our consoles are built in-house here, and what we do is instead of making our consoles out of like particle board or the press board material, we actually make everything out of birchwood or maple wood is what we make it out of, which is a nice hardwood, no knots in it, nice veneer across the top. And we'll go in here and we'll frame this out to each vehicle specifically. So every vehicle can be just a little different. We try to make the floor lines meet nice and look nice. And then what we'll do is after we install everything and put these boards in, we don't use wood filler. Wood filler has a tendency of cracking and falling out and that nature, and that's the last thing we want on an apparatus. So we're using Bondo is what we use, and we'll come in here and we Bondo all these corners, let it dry, come in and sand it, Bondo it again if we need to. There's a big process to go in to make this look like it does. And then after that's all done, then we'll come in, we'll spray it with this bed liner material, which gives it a textured look, gives it more ruggability, and also you know, if you spill something on it, it makes it spill resistant as well. Move up here to the top, we have a Freedom inverter charger. This does our charger, so when it's plugged into the station, you know, it charges the vehicle, charges the equipment, things of that nature. And it also gives us 110 to our outlets, both while it's plugged in and while we're just running the vehicle now. So it acts as both. We use a lot of these in this application because we never lose power to our 110 outlets by doing this. If you notice, there's also 110 outlets in the body when we were doing our walk around. On the corners on the outside, there's 110 outlets, and there's some in the inside of the compartments as well. This is our door ajar light. Of course, it's on right now. We have doors open on the slide out door. This is our USB plug. We're just doing a transfer from the factory USB into our console. We have a wire that comes across, and we just relocate it since you can't get to this factory USB since our console's here. So that's the top, and then we let some extra space here in the sides generally. We're able to put different computer mounts and that type of stuff. So we try to favor some of our stuff this way on purpose. One or two of you folks following us have noticed, like, why don't you center your siren controller? There's reasoning behind that, so we can have a computer, a laptop mount, maybe with a keyboard, and we're not fully covering this controller at the same time. This is our wheel-in controller. This is obviously operating the carbide, like I told you. We have our scene light options here. Rear scene, we have a button. You push it, all the scene lights come on, pulling up to an emergency call, push it. We can activate scene lights very quickly that way. We have different flash mode that you can push, low power, and then backlight on our controller. This is our slider switch, operates different levels of lighting outside. And then we also have our siren controls here. Which obviously lets us run our dual tone siren. As we move to the back, we have a customer supplied radio. Now, we do not have these attached yet. We'll go over those with the customer. That's one thing that we always like to do is exactly where do you want these and how do you want these placed. So we have the radio here. This is your PA mic. This is our TrafCon board. So works real simple. We can select the mode that we want it in, 4-corner flash, left arrow, etc. And then to shut it off and up and down, we can just push the down button. And then once we're the whole way down, it'll tell us, and then we can turn it off. And it'll say here lowering sign is what it'll say. We have a set of cup holders, and then we also have the customer supplied Motorola portable chargers here in the back. So this is just another cool project, something different. You know, we had an extended cab 350 truck with one of our modules in the back, and it just gives you more adverse in this. You know, they're in some tight corners. They don't want this crew cab long truck. They're generally running just 1 or 2 guys in their vehicles. You know, it's hard to find volunteers to begin with, you know, so they're running 1 or 2 guys, and they got 2 of these. Keep that in mind. So they're gonna have 2 of these trucks that are be able to be operational at the same time. And we can't thank the fire department, that area, enough. You know, we appreciate your work, your support here. We appreciate everything that you could do for us, and we're happy to build a truck for you as well. It's great to see something like this that's going to be at those Penn State games up there in that area. It's cool to put some vehicles in that area, especially one of our Vengeance apparatus. If you'd like to see a tour of the facility, like to learn more about our modules, give us a call. We'd be more than happy to talk to you. And you can always shoot us an email. Make sure you watch us out on social media as well. Thanks everybody, and have a great day.